Good morning, Capricorn. How's everybody doing? I got me a new little table. I'm so excited. This will be your monthly reading. I know you're like, man, the month's almost up. For the next 30 days. And, you know, time is relative anyway, so I'm really trying to get away from you know, being so stuck on time, deadlines and whatnot. Just trying to ease up. Alright, I am using my Alice in Wonderland tarot deck. That one did not want to go back in the deck. Alright. My fortune telling deck. And I also have a new set of runes. I'm going to grab one of those here in just a second. They're on the other table. A rune, romance angels, my sacred geometry deck I just got. So look at your video as being one of the first ones. This is the beginning. And it doesn't really matter because everything's happening just like it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, just at the right moment. The message you'll get the message, the right message at the right time. So this one is trying to come out. I can barely hold on to it. All right. So the first card that I have is the Ace of Swords. This is something that you are holding on to. This is a problem that you're holding on to very tightly. You don't want to release it. I mean, this can be a person, this can be a situation. But I'm really getting that regardless of what this is about, this starts with you. This is something inside of you that you've always done. It's something that's always repeated itself in your life. You know, it could be the kind of relationships that you have, the type of people that you choose. You know, maybe, you know, you always attract narcissists, or, you know, I hate labels, but, you know, people who take instead of give, so to speak, takers. I like that word better. So suppose you always attract takers instead of givers, or people who are, you know, in alignment with you. Maybe, you know, maybe the taker is in alignment with you because maybe this is something that you struggle with, you know, and I'm by all means not trying to trigger anyone because, you know, it's all about self-reflection. You know, it's instead of, you know, feeling like a victim, because a victim mentality will deplete you of your power. So instead of being in this victim mentality of, you know, I always attract people who are not good for me, or people who do this to me, that to me, check in with yourself as far as what it is about you. And it could very easily be that you are attracting, you know, maybe you had a parent who was mentally abusive, emotionally abusive, whatever. And maybe you were attracting people like your parent that will kind of keep you perpetuating this cycle of abuse. And also, you know, it's not your fault. It's like what you knew. So you're being asked to kind of release that, take a look at what, and it doesn't have to be what I just said. I was just an example. It could be something like that that you are holding on to with this Ace of Swords. Because I'm also sensing that this here is like a new beginning. This is something that you are manifesting right now in your life. But that you do have this situation here that is really blocking you and holding you back. All right, so to clarify that card, we have expectation and wealthy man. The first thing I got when I pulled these cards was a couple, that this is a couple, and understand these are the clarifiers for this card here. So I do feel like this is the type of relationship that you're used to having, that you're seeing that this no longer serves you. And so you really need to go within and you really need to check in. Now, whether or not you are this feminine energy or this masculine energy is going to depend on, you know, really, you know, what you choose. But you see how she's kind of looking away, kind of daydreaming, like she doesn't really want to be present in the relationship right now. You know, for whatever reason, this relationship is not serving her, and she's not getting her needs met, and she's looking elsewhere. Whereas him, he looks kind of arrogant. No offense, but this is pretty much how it goes with men and women. So do check in with that, you know, so that you could see how you can have a relationship that's more in alignment with you. Because, you know, you see this here is out of alignment. They both have different focuses. And although it's all right to have different focuses in a relationship, this is the relationship energy itself. All right. So we have the High Priestess. And man, I've been channeling this inner, you know, this High Priestess, my inner High Priestess energy lately. I don't even know how I'm doing it. Sometimes I don't know how I do the things that I do. People are like, you know, I'll mention that, you know, I know something or I'm doing something. And people will say, how did you learn that? I want to learn. It's like I just remembered, you know, because, you know, as I started, you know, waking up, things came back to me little by little by little by little, to where, you know, my divine team showed me, and they showed me things, and I do work with them every day, some days more than others. So they've shown me how to do that, how to really channel that power, you know, how to work with the elements of nature, you know, with like the moon, the sun, it's absolutely amazing. But that's the power that I'm getting with this card right here. Really channeling, you know, this power, channeling power from, first of all, taking it back from anyone that you gave it away to. Anytime you give somebody the power to make you mad, sad, glad, happy, you've lost yourself somewhere. You got to reclaim that power back. So that's the first thing you need to do. The second of all, you need to not give away power to other people to trigger you for any type of reaction whatsoever. All right, so we have this rune that I pulled right here, and hopefully it's on this paper. I bought this deck off Facebook. It's made out of wood bark. Isn't that really cool? I'm in this group. All right. This High Priestess group, actually. And she makes these. All right. W, V are the sounds for this. Stands for joy. The color is pink and blue. I don't know why I read that. I haven't been reading those. Casting meaning. This rune shows us the balance between all things, even when in a chaotic world. And shows the balance. And remember I said there was kind of an imbalance in this relationship between the masculine and the feminine energies? Yes. And that can also be your inner masculine or inner feminine too, which we each have, and that have to be in balance. It is also a rune of fellowship, common goals, and well-being to all things. If you come across this rune in a reading, you can expect good news to come your way. Well, that's good. You have good news coming because you are manifesting and you are stepping into your co-created power with the universe. All right, so we have, because the more we get into alignment with our authentic selves, who we are, not who we're not, manifesting just comes easy. We have the Page of Cups. And the first thing I thought of, you know, when I saw, this is my Alice in Wonderland deck, by the way, was I thought child. This is so childlike. And look at the clarifier, children. So it says your love life is being affected by children, but we definitely have this energy, this childlike energy. And basically the energy that I'm getting with this is, you know, when we have childhood wounding, something traumatic stuff happens to us as a child, it seems like to me that we end up stuck emotionally. It like stunts our emotional growth. To where, like, you know, if something happens to you when you're like 9 or 10, your emotional growth is like stunted at that point, to where, you know, you start catching up as you have these experiences, but you're still learning, you're still a baby at this. So that's what I feel like is happening here. And a lot of the things that are happening are helping you to catch up. And I'm not saying you're mentally immature, because, you know, you could run a whole business, a household, whatever, and you're like, how can I be emotionally immature? Emotional maturity comes with being able to recognize, be responsible for, process, react, or choose not to react to your feelings, your emotions. And that takes a lot. And a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are not there. A lot of people, like most of us. All right, we have 5 of Pentacles. I feel like this is trauma. This is some sort of traumatic event that you keep revisiting over and over again. And you're like, what kind of traumatic event? I'm not revisiting anything. But every single time we align to or we attract a situation that is a blast from the past, that is just like something we have experienced before, guess what? You're holding on to the past. You have to be, because if you weren't, this would not even be an option in your vibrational escrow, as Abraham Hicks calls it. You would not even be able to pull from that to create something, because it would just be gone. All right, so we have the Thinking Man and Healer of the Ages. You cannot think your way through this. You cannot think or plan or control or manage or micromanage. This involves surrender. This is the exact opposite of what you've been taught. We're taught that we need to go hard, we need to work ourselves to death, we need to chase. This is not the case. What you need to do is have faith and let go. And also, you need to, anytime a situation comes up, you need to learn to choose your battles, because anytime a situation comes up, you need to just look at it. It doesn't need to be analyzed, labeled, figured out. People kept, listen to me, I'm telling you what, people kept telling me this at the beginning of my journey, and I did not understand what that meant. There were a couple of things that I did not understand, like surrender. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand not having expectations, not having attachments. These are all things that I've had to learn, but they all work together, because basically you have a situation that comes up, and it could be something minor, like maybe someone says something that triggers you, okay? And automatically you start thinking, I wonder what they meant. What is this about? I bet they're doing this. I bet they're doing that. You've created what, like 3, 4, at least when I did that just now, I created at least 3, 4 different scenarios. Remember I was talking about that vibrational escrow? About, you know, releasing the past so it's not even a possibility anymore. Stop creating possibilities. Instead, just look at it and tell yourself, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this is where I am at right now, energetically, and this has showed up for that reason. Nothing more. I'm not a victim. No one's to blame. I'm just going to look at it. Now, I'm not saying don't take any shit, but I'm saying everything doesn't need a reaction. Healer of the ages. So I feel like this too, you know, as far as releasing the past, as far as this emotional maturity, this catching up, you are working on some things. And I think a lot of us are. And that's perfect. That's perfectly all right. You're right where you need to be at. And, you know, these situations here come up for that reason. How else are you going to be aware that you have something that needs looked at or looked into if it's not shown to you? All right, we have the Ace of Pentacles. And the first thing that I got with this was helping hand. Reach out to, I know sometimes it just feels like we're all alone. I know I get that way. I'm like, man, I don't really even have anybody I could talk to. And, you know, sometimes all you have is yourself. You know, if you're like me, you have yourself. And that's fine too, because I have my team too. But what I'm saying with this is if you have a support system, you are so blessed, first of all. Second of all, do reach out to them. Reach out to them. You know, have somebody that you can, you know, talk to, you know, and if you don't have a support system, you know, get a therapist, get somebody, you know, paid friend to talk to. All right, Cosmic Flower. This is my Sacred Geometry deck. I just love this. I'm always like, I've got a Sacred Geometry deck. The frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place and call home. Of the place we call home. The core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. You read that again because I want to get this too. The frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home. Like for star seeds or what. I mean, I think we all are. You know, sometimes I think these labels like I'm this, that, or whatever else is just so we can feel better than somebody else. I'm this, I'm that, you know, that's why I don't like labels, but the star, the planet that we came from, the remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. I'm still trying to grasp the whole sacred geometry thing. I mean, I've done a lot with numerology, numbers. I've studied a lot of math and how it relates to the universe. And so I'm still not there yet. I'm still not there. And, you know, the thing that I have realized about spirituality, you know, you have spirituality and science, which go together. They go together. I don't care what religion and science out in the world have to say. True spirituality and science go together. Because the science is the creation of how we were created, and also like, you know, all the neurotransmitters and chakras and, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, we're energetic beings, so science has to be involved. It has to be. You know, and so, like I said, the two do work together. But, you know, you have to recognize that, you know, the creator, and we are the creator, experiencing himself, herself, used, you know, ancient symbols and mathematics to create the universe. And like I said, I'm not here yet. And it's not so much about taking in knowledge. And it's like, I want to take in knowledge, which that is important. But you also have to be at a place where you can understand it conscious-wise. So it's about raising your consciousness too, in order to be able to understand something. You can study it, but till you've actually experienced it. And you, like, you know, through the experiences that we have, we understand ourselves and the universe, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so we have Knight of Cups. And the first thing I got with this was almost like a messenger. Almost like somebody bringing you a message. So I do feel like, wasn't there something that says that you're going to receive news on that room? Yeah, some kind of news or some type of good news by the end of the day. So I feel like this goes along with that, because you're going to receive some kind of message. And this is something that is going to surprise you. You know, maybe someone from the past you haven't talked to for a while. Maybe someone you gave up on hearing from. But this is going to happen. And like I said, this is that messenger. All right, we have natural, authentic, real, and organic. And this is what I was saying earlier about stepping into your authentic self, your true self, of recognizing who you are, and it's not who you thought you were. So why so many of us who are on this journey of spiritual awakening go through identity crises over and over again. That's what the dark night of the soul is. This identity crisis, like, I don't know who I am. Who am I? But right here with this card, I feel like you're doing that. You are becoming, you know, this organic, authentic person, taking off all of your masks. It's beautiful. And so I feel like that is the reason why you're going to be getting this good news. And I do feel like this is a romantic interest. You know, maybe they've been watching you on social media. And they're like, wow, this person's really changed. You know, maybe you used to be, you know, more kind of self-centered, self-serving. And now maybe, you know, you have grown and changed to where, you know, not only did you take off this mask of what was not authentic about you, but, you know, you have raised your consciousness and your awareness to a point where, you know, maybe you have a cause now. You have things that you care about, you know, outside of yourself and material gain and wealth or whatever it was you were into before. All right, well, this is a general collective reading, Capricorn. If you'd like to have a personal reading, they are $50. Do reach out to me. I'll include my email address in the description of the video. Thank you for watching.